Hello. I am out here on our family farm on our land picking crab apples, and I have a Devo or illustration or something popping into my head, so I wanted to record it before I forget it. So picking crab apples on this gnarled old tree that has been here for generations. So I'm super excited. And I was just looking at the apples as I was picking them. I'm going to show you a couple of them. And they're just tiny and cute. But I was looking at them and I was thinking, God gave me an illustration of the church. So I have all of these apples, and pretty much every single one of them is imperfect in some way. None of them are great. They're out here in the field, and it's probably, I don't know, maybe it's ideal conditions, maybe not, but they're just out here. They're left to whatever happens to them until I come and pick them. So they're bruised. Some of them have worms. Some of them have other weird stuff going on. But even though pretty much all of the ones that I've picked have been damaged in some way, imperfect in some way, I'm picking them because I know that they're all going to work together and make something great. I make crabapple jelly with them, and so I know that even though they're imperfect, they're still going to work great all together for that. So I was thinking about that and the church, and I was thinking that even though every individual person in the church is sinful and is flawed, and we all struggle with different things, we all work together and can do something great. As the church, God has called us to be part of the church body, and says that we have all of the gifts that we need. When we're together, we have all of the gifts that we need to do great work for his kingdom. So I don't know, I was just thinking about that and thinking about the apples, and even though they're imperfect, they still get used. I am picking them in faith that they will be used for something great. And I feel like God does that with us. He knows us, and he wants to redeem us. And even though we have imperfections, we're covered in his grace, and he can use us all to work together for his glory and the building of his kingdom. And the other thing that I was thinking, this is kind of like a two-part thing. I had several thoughts running through my head. The other thing is that even though we know that we're imperfect and that God can still use us, we say that a lot, but I wonder if we actually truly believe that. Because I find myself doubting that sometimes. I think, well, struggle with this and that, and can I do that, and should I be leading, and all of that. And there is a serious question there. James says that those who teach will be judged more strictly. So there is a serious question to consider. But I think that we need to recognize more and truly believe that it's nothing that we can do that can make us holy in God's sight. It's his righteousness that covers us and makes us holy, and he can use us, and he will use us if we submit to his will. So trust that it's nothing that you can do, that it's God's righteousness that covers you, and no works. I know that's something that I've been realizing that I struggle with believing, and trusting that God's righteousness covers my sins. And we need to live in a way that we are pursuing God and following his rules and obeying him. So we should be striving to live free of sin, but we can also know that when we do sin, God is faithful, and it's his righteousness that covers us. So go out in faith, trusting that it is God's righteousness. Seek to follow him, and remember the apples. When you remember how imperfect that we are, and how imperfect your fellow churchgoers are and your church leaders, and give each other grace, and know that we are all working together for God's glory and the building of his kingdom. Have a great day.